Welcome back to CBS Mornings, where we're talking about a new warning from the White House about what they're calling a, quote, emerging threat from a potentially deadly new drug cocktail. We've all heard about the dangers of fentanyl, but now the DEA is saying that fentanyl is being mixed with an animal tranquilizer called xylazine, or tranq. It's been found in 48 of 50 states, just about everywhere. And last year, about a quarter of fentanyl powder seized by DEA agents contained xylazine, that drug. Jericka Duncan recently traveled to Georgia to see the drug mixture's toll firsthand and also the efforts to counter it. Jericka, good morning.
Good morning. It affects a lot of people and a lot of families as well. Xylazine has infiltrated the illicit drug market here in the Northeast at an alarming rate. And our reporting found it's not just big cities that are dealing with this so-called zombie drug, but small communities too, leaving officials to figure out just how to fight against it.
You're seeing the impact across all communities, no matter how big.
Every week, first responder Jesse Michael can see how drugs are destroying lives.
Does this work make a difference?
I think it definitely does.
He's part of the Cobb County CARES team.
It looks like we got 5 or 6 different overdoses.
A community outreach group based in Marietta, Georgia, about 35 miles north of Atlanta. It's made up of paramedics and recovery specialists, or former users who are now clean. While fentanyl has been the focus for the last several years,
this is fentanyl with tranq.
An animal tranquilizer called xylazine is showing up in street drugs.
That's the fentanyl.
Xylazine and fentanyl combined have been described as the deadliest drug in the United States.
Missy Owen runs The Zone, a recovery support organization in Marietta.
Parents need to pay attention because our 10 to 19-year-olds had an 800% increase this past year in fentanyl overdose.
In the state of Georgia?
In the state of Georgia.
The Drug Enforcement Administration, or the DEA, has seized fentanyl mixed with xylazine in all but 2 states, with the South reporting the greatest increase of overdose deaths involving xylazine. In Georgia, those deaths spiked 1,120% over the past 3 years, from 15 deaths in 2020 to 183 last year.
Xylazine's cheap. A kilo in Puerto Rico is $300.
Dan Salter worked for the DEA for over 30 years. He's now a liaison between the federal government and local communities like Marietta.
This is at everybody's doorstep. This is not just in Philadelphia, an issue there in South Atlanta. This is in every community in this country.
What can you tell people about the effects of xylazine?
So xylazine is a relatively new phenomenon in the United States. It's used for large animals. It's not for human consumption. Most of the time, when you cut fentanyl with xylazine, you're going to have an overdose death.
I later found out that they called it tranq.
37-year-old Chandler, who's now in recovery, believes someone gave him a mix of fentanyl and xylazine.
It completely incapacitates you. It put me down for say about 2 hours. It was a terrible experience for me. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it.
How are you doing today?
My life's beautiful today. Mm-hmm. I have a peace today that I've never known and never experienced in my entire life, you know.
Stories like Chandler's keep Missy Owen motivated. At the Recovery Support Center she and her husband run are pictures of dozens of people they've lost to drug overdoses. And it was their own personal story that brought them here. Their son Davis died at 20 to a heroin overdose in 2014.
It's so hard, and it never gets easier. God gives me a lot of strength because to do what we do here is very hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Do you ever wonder what your son would say about the work that you and your husband are doing?
You say, Mom and Dad, y'all keep on going. These people need you. I know that if Davis ever gets to peek down from heaven, ever gets to peek down, he's going to be saying, y'all come here. That's my mom and dad. And I don't want him ever to see us not working hard to make a difference for people that could have made a difference for him.
Officials tell us besides fentanyl, tranq has also been found in cocaine, meth, and even marijuana. In addition to being cheap, xylazine might provide a longer high for users, but it has one very horrible side effect. It appears to cause necrosis and rots the skin from the inside out, with many users experiencing open wounds. And what's also really unfortunate about this is
right there.
you would think, but Narcan doesn't work. You know, it doesn't necessarily reverse the effects.
On
Obviously, it's mixed with fentanyl too.
Yeah.
But that's also another part of, you know, the education that they're trying to get out so people know, because a lot of times too, they're taking something that they're used to taking to get them high,
Right.
not understanding that the xylazine is in there and it could kill you.
Wow. I'm still thinking about Missy Owen. I always marvel at parents who have suffered the greatest loss.
Yeah.
All of us sitting here are children. I can't think of anything that would be more devastating to lose your child under any circumstances.
Yeah.
But to take that pain and then turn it into something to help others.
Her and her husband are doing incredible work there in
I
Marietta.
see that.
Yeah,
I see
there's a
that.
beauty in that, though. I hope anyone watching can take this as a warning, though. Possible death, rotting from the inside. This is serious.
Well said. Jericka, thank you.